This is WNT9 Radio, and this week we are having the blessing of having a very special guest, a good brother of mine, on the line with us. Brother, please introduce yourself.
Good evening. This is Chief 9L with the Witchetaw Nation. I'm honored to be on the radio show with Intellect, WNT9 Radio. Honored to meet you there, brother.
No doubt, brother. It's good having you, man. Good hearing from you, too.
All right.
Now, a lot of people may not know or be informed as to just who you are and what you're associated with. Can you just give us a brief understanding of what's going on with who you are and the group or groups that you're affiliation with?
Yes, Chief 9L is my totem identity within the Witchetaw Nation. The Witchetaw Nation is a treaty nation that was mentioned in the Let's Set the Record Straight according to the Camp Holmes Treaty. I am the last heir of Tadady, which is one of the signatories to the treaty under the Witchetaw Nation. Did the investigation on my blood lineage, come to the conclusion that through my grandfather, he was a Mela, and he had left some documents during his time of his transitions that we was in relation with the indigenous nation called the Witchetaw, which has a treaty with the United States of America. During the course of my event and travels, period briefly in my earlier years, I came across Imam Isa at the time when he put the book out, Who Was Prophet Noble Jawari, and I was like about 15, 16 years old, still in school. And that was the first book that I came across, and during the course of my graduation from high school, from Staunton, Virginia, it was clear to me that I was a Muslim prior to my age of 18. So I was studying different ideologies and thoughts during the course of the event in my earlier years. And as I graduated from high school, I went to Virginia State University, and a good friend of mine, I was going to send a picture there to you as well.
Okay.
Brother Emmanuel. He's another good brother that was about a year behind me in high school. And we was both on the journey, seeking for the knowledge and working our way to find out who we were.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I was in the midterm of my year at Virginia State University here in Virginia. He gave me a call and informed me that there was a tire down in Norfolk, Virginia. Mm-hmm. He said there's a lot more information that was definitely about living the life accordingly. So he sent me a few books on Imam Isa at the time that I've read through the course of pretty much all my days in that period of time in school. I never pretty much went to school, any classes, because I was so involved in embracing to the information of what was being revealed at the time. So as I made the decision after that last semester, I said I'll probably be going. I'm ready to go to an Islamic school. I told my family that and informed them that I was going to an Islamic community.
Right.
So we had made the journey from, that was back in 89, 90, around that area time frame. I moved to Richmond, Virginia, and that's when Abdul Noor, little short brother with glasses, brown skin, was the imam at the time and was given authority by Imam Isa to set the tabernacle in Richmond. So I was in Richmond, Virginia for about a year and a half until we made the transition in 92 to go into right knowledge. And we was up there with Catskills up in New York.
Right.
To discuss, see about the transition going through the Hebrew Israelites, and so forth. And then the right knowledge came, and we're moving up and going up ahead now. So we were going into the discussion about, he was talking about people who was going to be moving to Georgia.
Right.
And these people under the new covenant. And within that new covenant, we all made that transition. I didn't stay in the tabernacle too long. I knew it was just transitional stage.
Right.
Because I kind of felt the energy was starting to transform because my energy was changing. So I was moving in accordance, the direction where the land was taking us. And,
right.
we had made that transition from Catskill down to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where things was in the process of getting settled. I was going periodically back and forth to D.C., talking to Brother Delonte Jones at the time, but his tab name was Sadiq. And we were having some serious, deep discussions. I usually be sometime guarding the door when he'd be speaking, because, I look at everyone as one family.
Right.
And, during that course, down in Atlanta in 92, that's when we moved into the wu-nuwaupu Nation of Moors. And that's when I have went full throttle to do more investigation on my lineage and my family and my bloodline to determine who I am and what I am in regards to the status of being a Moor. So I did all of that in the time of 98 to 99. I investigated my lineage, went through finding out that I'm related to the tribe Lenape, which is identified as Moors, and also my grandfather records on Witchetaw.
Beautiful.
In reference to the treaty nation, the Witchetaw Nation, that has a treaty with the United States of America. So I changed my identity. I kept the wu-nuwaupu, the name of the Witchetaw Nation.
Right.
When I had went through got the passport up there in D.C. from Brother Sadiq, kept the name wu-nuwaupu. I'm currently holding the chief titleship, also a paralegal. I received my credentials out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, from Blackstone Career Institute. And I have been pursuing law diligently. And at this point in stage now, I'm just bringing everything into fruition to try to assist in the transition that's taking place with my group. Chief Black Thunderbird Eagle that is kidnapped and being held injustice in the regards to the nature of incident that was fabricated, the people that was bought off, and also was, compromised.
Right.
About their position, about their father. I have been on the land, I've been on the case back in, I think about 2000. I came up under the Yamafi, under Derek Sanders at the time. He's a brother from out of Philadelphia. And I felt kind of uncomfortable because of some of the areas of things that he was participating in. I didn't agree with it. So my spirit was dictating, telling me that you stay within your lane.
Right.
Live according to your blood lineage. Because it will be a time when you will be the one to be able to assist the elder brother in this transition, getting out of this cave of captivity.
Right.
And this is where I have come across Bambaataa. I met Bambaataa in Philadelphia. I made arrangements to make a treaty with him because I was under the law authority under the treaty, which is the source of law, not only in this country, but also abroad, to establish a relation with the Zulu Kemetic Moors. At the time, we had made the arrangements in New York, and I sat down and talked to Bam and discussed about what the future is and what we plan on doing, some of the areas that we wanted to cover, and try to move according to all the information that Imam Isa, our crew, had brought forth into fruition for everybody to put on that mask of God.
Right.
And those things was all in the conversation and the communication between Bam and I. And previously I got off the line with him yesterday, and we discussed on some of the main objectives of those times is soon to come to pass. Now, I do value the essence of everybody's participation to assist Imam Isa in his transition. I definitely respect everyone that's part of the nation,
right,
that is moving forward to try to work to get him out. A lot of actions is definitely taking place, and I just want to make it certain that to him, if you spread the information, if you have the opportunity to hear it, is to tell him to keep his head up. He haven't exhausted all the strategy within the legal system. He only exhausted one branch.
Right.
Now, currently during the time of 2012, 2012, I have been incarcerated during the federal. I had did federal time, and that was a process of 2 years that I've been in there. And I had looked into a lot of the information. I was into the law, and I was studying some of the avenues that we could do as far as being captive in peace to see the release. And the answer came to fruition that the only way, the only answer is through treaties and foreign alliances. Treaties and foreign alliances, because they had a hole within their legal law library that they had inside the facility. They had majority of most of the information that I was aware of prior to me coming in. So I became most likely a legal eagle in a federal prison system. And because I was teaching and helping people find a way to get out. And I got my time short due to the information that I had gathered during the course of the years, and plus in there some of the things to use that I was applying. And I got out early release. And I'm saying that there is a lot of areas that a lot of people are not aware if they haven't been in prison time or have you or been in prison. You know, it's kind of different in there than it is out here.
Right.
And what I can share, and I close on this and digress, is that there is always going to be a way for him to get out. It's up to the people out here to decide what they need to do. At this current time, having events, good events, feel-good events, sensationalism is good. But at the same time, we all, every one of us, independently have to focus the energy more on seeing him getting out.
Right.
And I have informed Dan Barter, I told him, I said, there's two things that we must establish, is that we must get these entities out of this foreign, out of the country, which is particularly in Spain, and see to the release of Maku. Because the changes and the transitions that were taking place right now is because of our people refuse instructions when people come to them. They don't appreciate the beings that come in and out to assist until it's all done and said. It's too late for some of the people to see that you have an angel beside you all the time.
Right.
You under the protection. So I have expressed that to man many times, and I see the transition pretty much people around the world in this particular country in Northern Hemisphere. They see the transitions and the change of how people being treated unfairly, unequally, and based on racial targeting, racial profiling, etc. I remember Imam Isa had brought to attention that these are the things that will soon become to pass.
Mm-hmm.
There will be time when people will want to die, but they can't die.
Right.
And it will be a point where it will be so dramatical, you know, people it's in a scareless, I should say, you know, state where they are operating under the capacity. They're just not certain about life. But those that know and know what to do and how to survive will be able to adapt and win. But the first thing I want to say in regards to his case, I may be going overboard. You can interject any time, brother. Interject.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to say is that he exhausted the judicial branch. But he's got the legislation, and from my understanding, Sister Victoria Brosfield, the sister down in Texas, that mentioned that they are pursuing to get the pardon and so forth. But then there was a development in the case that there won't be some type of hearing coming this next month in January 2017. So I already know that the procedures that for the party, if she's aware of that, you go through the Department of Justice, sending a letter, notification, to Obama is one thing, but having it processed properly is going through the Department of Justice to get to the desk of Obama. Now, the other thing that I learned while I was in prison, incarcerated in federal prison, is that there is also a congressional hearing. You can have a congressional hearing on the case, which is the legislature branch.
Right.
That you can get your case turned over to the Congress to let them review the case to see if there was any errors on behalf of the district courts and so forth. Those things also can be explored to those that are on the case that he has acknowledged that is on the case. That's something that they can look into as well. So those are the points that I can raise up in regards to the legal system within the United States of America. And if it has been exhausted completely, I just wanted to make that clear because he hasn't exhausted the other branches.
Right.
So if he's not aware of it, I hope this get to him or get to someone that can share that to him. It's not all over with. So keep your spirit up. I just want to keep your spirit up and be positive, be focused, which he already is. The third thing I want to say as far as the foreign aspect of things, the ambassador stuff going on with Liberia is good. Keep continuing doing that. But again, if all of those things happen to be not to be to prevail on behalf of Pops, the third thing will be where we will step in to establish foreign alliances, because it's going to take other governments to see who this man is.
Right.
And, I told Bam that since you travel pretty much around the world more than I have, so I said, get ready to put your boxing gloves on, be ready to go to war out here.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much I can say in regards to the case. We are diligently working on those things. It all goes. But the last and final thing will be only within the Masonic Lodge, the Rocky Masonic Lodge. Those information will be disclosed only to the ones that will be, those that's part of those secret orders, which I'm also party to. That can only answer the last resort, because some things is kept private, some things is kept public.
Right.
That's what I will leave on that note in regards to his case.
Right. Now, I appreciate those words and that advice. Let me ask you a question on, you said you were a paralegal?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now,
I'm going to send that to you as well.
Okay.
My certification, so you can have that in your records, if that needs to be.
Okay, thank you for that. Definitely appreciate that. Quick question on counsel. Could you possibly explain what is the difference between an attorney and a lawyer?
Yes, an attorney, accordingly to the legal law dictionary, it's going back to the origin of attorney or turning over. The attorney owes his duty to the court before it owes it to the client, because they are under the same legal system that appointed them through the bar, the British Accreditation Registration. All attorneys that have received their license to practice law have went through the Bar Association, and several states, the majority of states, have these type of registrations for people that's interested in practicing law under the legal status of the United States. It's a process that they must go through in order for them to be considered practicing law in the courts today in the United States.
Right.
The lawyer is anyone that takes upon themselves to learn the law within their own means, to be abreast and keep informed with the daily changing policies of government, statutes, codes, and etc. It has no other criteria to go through to actually practice law. You can pick up a legal dictionary and you can say you're a lawyer. But they have this thing set up in a business formation for those people who want to pursue legal aspect of being a legal attorney. Those things can be arranged for those people who want to pursue that. But as I've always have said, that there's a relation, there's a nexus between the prosecutor and there's a relation with the attorneys on the other side, because they only limited to a certain extent of what they can do and can't do. And those are the things that people should be aware of, because it's not their fault. That's what the contract that they have agreed to sign on with. That's why most attorneys cannot go beyond certain scopes. They have other people practicing law,
Right.
such as legal international attorneys, which is dealing with international law, international conventions, and multilateral treaties and so forth. So international attorneys have a broader scope, but again, they have to come in. They have to fill a form out in the court. They're taking the case of another client. There's any defendant or prosecutor or the plaintiff, either one of them. So they still will be binding themselves into the jurisdiction. I do know for a fact that it's going to come to a point in time. It's time to be walking in the status, all the prophets, and do the same scenario. Jesus was pro se, or in his proper person, when the time when the Romans came and tried to take him to the cross. But we know the story. So we know the story. The Wapians know the story. We know the story. So it's just to say that all the great ones have always stand with the most high voices that they are guided by to move in their favor.
Right.
There will be a point in time when Doc will have to stand within his own means, without any assistance outside, because you got to save yourself.
Right.
And if he's aware of this, he's seeing this, because he still sees that there's still no form of unity amongst the Wapians, among people that he touched. He still feels the senses of that. And he tried to tell people a long time, he said, our unity is our strength, and we have to stay together to work this thing out. And but there's that inward intent that some of us all have that keeps things, in an imbalanced way to see to his release. And I feel the same way during the course of the years that I have worked through under. In fact, I got to meet his daughter, Asaru. I think they got a recording of me as well. When I was down there on the leg, when I had taken the case to a certain extent, but there was friction amongst people through different communications that I did not, my soul wasn't pleased. So I had made my decision. I expressed to Brother Sadiq. I said, I'm moving forward.
Right.
I see the energy that's being surrounded here, that it's not necessary, and it's not my nature to be in that kind of environment, because of these people's mindsets going through transitions, concerns, but it's affecting the process as far as my way of how I'm operating and doing legal paperwork or documents and so forth. It's affecting how I'm doing my due diligence. So I cannot work under this kind of restraining and restrictions.
Right.
So that's where I have decided to draw the line and make my journey back home and facilitate and effectuate the things that I can work to try to assist him in his case on another level with another area of people of allies that Malachi Z York knows very well. And that's what I have pursued to do. I have worked with Man Bottom periodically, and a lot of things that we continuously do. I told him personally, I said, all works according to the way it's been written. You're going to be the one to make sure all these things come in place. I informed him about that because I was the head one. I was the one that did not want to be exposed to the public eye to the level where I felt that it would be a detriment. And I never was too comfortable in being in the public anyway. I've always kept a low profile throughout the course of the years. And that's the way I work with other people to try to put my interest to try to accept, to assist in this effort. And you hear it first, you have it on record, and to let that, yes, I have been on this case. I still have documents. Still up in my bed that some of the documents mentions that it informed me about some other areas of things of development. So those are the things that I have addressed it on that regard.
Okay. So let me ask you this. In regards to a state, what is an actual state in regards to sovereignty?
Right. Well, state is really the condition, which is going back to status of either a body politic or an entity. That's what a state is. It's dealing with the status or the position or standing or condition of one entity or faction or body politic or an independent one. What is the status? And state and status is synonymous in regards to the condition of one thing.
Okay, so to the average mind, for lack of a better word, the average mind would automatically say that state would be considered like New York, New Jersey, a physical place.
Right, right. Well, before it was called a state, it was called a country.
Right.
So it was called each independent geographical location was called the country at one time. The state defines the condition of that country. So they went to the condition and used the term state. And they had changed it from country to state. So they talking about the conditions of that state or the position or the standing of that country.
Right.
Yeah. So that was just some of the, the earlier understanding before the colonials proceeded, they started with their companies first and worked their way up to building the country because of the exchange and trade that they had amongst the indigenous people. Yeah.
Okay. So now in the beginning, you mentioned paralegal, and I had asked you was there a difference between attorney and lawyer? The term paralegal, would that be relevant to, or would that be the same as saying lawyer or attorney?
In the line of duty, a paralegal is the one that prepares documentation for the litigators, which will be the attorney. The attorneys litigate. Lawyers and paralegals and so forth, they prepare the documents and look into investigating case laws that can support the argument on behalf of the plaintiff or the defendant. The paralegals, they do mostly the work. They do the investigation on the laws to see if it's in conjunction with what the attorney, who is the litigator or the client, to convey to the judge, to convince the judge, to persuade the judge by using certain case laws or either treaties or etc. So those things are very prevalent and relevant in reference to what paralegals do. So they mostly draft up the documentations and forms to assist the attorney to convince the judge or persuade the judge or the jury to move in the interest and favor of their client.
Okay, now in regards to RICO, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I'm trying to get as much as I can from you while we have you, man. I definitely appreciate you being with us here at WNT9 Radio. In regards to this RICO thing, when you say RICO, it seems like anyone in the legal profession. I mean, it seems like like the boogeyman word, man. It's like, a lot of people are afraid of taking on RICO, cases that are, governing RICO. To your knowledge, is that like a leave alone territory? When a case comes up where RICO is involved?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the RICO, the racketeering. It's a broad subject because they have defined RICO in so many ways to try to get a conviction, state and federal. What I can address in regards to that is that the entities that operate under actions and activities that's in pursuit to the better good wouldn't fall up under that. The case with, my niece, and I don't like the word using, Dr. York. I like using identity that is reflecting the true spirit, what he really is, truly is, rather than this English name that, some of us are born with. I like to use terms that is related to the greater good of what he is, rather than what's on record that they trying to, slander and use it and trying to deck it. It's like throwing dirt. And that's an insult to me, because we have to see these things that we're dealing with. Their whole intent is to keep in those kind of conditions.
No doubt.
And try to, use the energy that he is, by our grace, by the forces that we are connected with, to their advantage to continue to grow. It's the same thing as anybody studied the ancient Shlomo. He had in his captivity a demon, and the energy that Solomon was using was the magic ring. And Shlomo was using this ring to win, and he had control of demons and had control of different spirits. So I'm saying they are exercising these forces that is trying to keep to their point of advantage over the world. And this is why some of, even some of our own, still want to keep him in. So I'm aware of what people are doing out here. And what I do see is that it's a shame. Our people don't see through the works of what he did. But you're still throwing shots. You still want to make room for mockery.
Right.
He's your friend and those people that you associate with. And, it's disgusting to me. So, to go back onto your statement about the RICO, I look at some of these slave patrols that is operating today. I look at those as under the RICO. They should be charged for the committing of acts due to racial profiling, racial targeting, racial selective prosecuting, and selective enforcement. The whole judicial system was based on, laws that were pertaining to Negroes, Blacks, and African Americans. The school prison pipeline, which now they're passing laws for children. If they get in the fight, and we all been in school, we had some fight, and now charging children for felonies.
Right.
So these laws are geared to secure those people that don't look up, that's geared for them that don't have thick lips and broad noses and what This is something that I had spoke on some of the calls that I host every Sunday, Treaty Nation Association. And I just say that, the RICO charges is applicable for people who is doing actions and committing crimes against humanity in the form of genocide, independently and so forth. And even some of these entities that is being under the political action of the United States government. So I speak that because throughout the course of the records, their history, their annals, records of what they have done to a people that don't look like them. Okay, I see these crimes have been committed, and now you have a soft president, who speaks in general to talk about it's infeasible for any form of compensation or victim rights or any of those things. I see when he gets in there and talks about these kind of areas that he keeps our people sedated in reference to saying that it's okay, it's going to be all right. And see, I'm not moved off of sensationalism.
Right.
Me, I'm personally not moved off of it because I see it's a show, and I see he wants to keep his status quo within the elite, within that realm of people that look at him as the first. We know better, don't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You already know.
We know better.
Exactly.
So the RICO is something that, is real. I feel as though the death charges that they have against, Yanon, is definitely definitely out of order. They know it, I know it, and I can see it.
Right.
And the more energy we put out there, brother, intellect, and particularly anybody else that's around listening, the more energy we put out there, the more we can make this change. But we must be efficiently active on what we're doing and seeing the results of it. And that's the goal, brother.
Right. Now, in regards to your show, you mentioned you do a conference every Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Is that a private conference, or is it open to the general public?
Yes, Treaty Nation Association is one of the political factions of Witchetaw Nation within that treaty. Camp Holmes, August 24, 1835, 7-474. That specific treaty discusses about the Witchetaw Nations, its tribes, and its association. Treaty Nation Association is more advocate in the treaty law, because the source of law, according to their laws and international law, treaties are the source of all. All constitutions, statute codes derive from treaties. You must operate under those independent status quo in order to be reciprocated with other foreign government nations to be respected as an equal footing on the same cause. Right now, Negro, Black, Collab American is not on no equal footing because they had laws based on unilateral, domesticated documents that were created. The Treaty Nation Association is a political faction of the Witchetaw Nation. The website is Witchetaw, WITCHETAW, nation.org. That website is pretty much an informative, informational website for those people who wants to know about Witchetaw. Also, Treaty Nation discusses not only just treaties, but we also talk about the care and conditions that our people is facing. I always open it up with either a clip from Imam Isa or Yanon, some of the things that he had prophesied in regards to what to come when you become a leader or someone who is being a change for the people for the greater good. These are the type of things that was discussed. I also talk about a variety of subjects from nationality to, all to legal aspects, situations our people's going through, current things of nature.
Right. So, to get into the conference, would it be by invitation, or is there a general number to call?
Yeah, anybody is welcome to come in. And I don't know if you want me to give it out or.
Well, we can give it out based on those who requested and those who we personally would feel would get something out of it, as well as give some input to the show. Definitely, man. But listen, man, it's great, man. I actually tuned in a few times myself, man. So I definitely, I really, really appreciate you, man. I appreciate your work, just in the sense of the conference that you hold, because the information was very, very. It's always, you always touch on things that don't seem like we're hearing from any other, avenues. So it's definitely always good to tune in to you, man. I try to tune in as much as I can, actually, man. And a lot of times I'm tuned in, I just sit back. I don't say a word, man, because, you know what I'm saying? It's like the brother is going in, you know what I'm saying? You go in, man, and you be on point about a lot of different things that you touch on, man. So that's why I asked, could we bring people into this, man, on the public level, just open to because it's not really like a, we got to protect you too, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we got to make sure that, we don't just, let what happened to Partner Bab happen to brothers like you. You know what I'm saying? Like this, we got to be smart about how we move. So definitely, I think I can answer my own question when I ask, should it be put out there like that? You know what I'm saying? But it's good to have you, man. I wish we can just stay on longer, but I know you got some things to take care of. And man, thank you so much, man, for reaching out and making yourself available, because a lot of times brothers and sisters, of your caliber seem to go up and toot their own horn and think that they just too good for the everyday people. And I mean, it's just beautiful, man. It's beautiful when you can move the way you move and still be grounded, you know, and not be sidetracked by the ego. You know what I'm saying? And thank you so much, man. I'm thanking you for from myself, from my guests who are not on the line with us today, and for definitely the listening audience, man. I know they want to hear more, so we're gonna have to bring you back, or you know, we definitely have to bring you back because I know they want to hear more. I know it's gonna be some questions. We didn't have no live call-ins or anything like that today, so I know I'm gonna be getting hit up about a lot of things you touched on. So you know, definitely look forward to hearing from me again in regards to having you back on, man. I want to ask you this. You touched on a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this in closing. You mentioned, you know, if somebody can get the word out to Pops, you know what I'm saying? Now, we always put to those we interview that we feel that he will, you know, listen at some point. And if he was listening at this point or at a later point of this recording, from yourself to him, if you had any words to him to add on to what you've already said, you know what I mean? Even if you can reiterate it, you know what I'm saying? What would be anything that you had to say from yourself to Partner Vibe? Yeah, no.
Your vengeance are here. And we are here to make certain that this won't happen again. So we just want you to know, don't ever be down and feeling like you lost hope. Don't ever feel that way. Stay up. Stay up. I appreciate your time, intellect, and I honor you and everything that you do. And I look forward to hearing from you. And so we can continue.
Definitely, man. Definitely. If you can, just stay on the line for 1 second. I just want to address the people. It takes actually not even a second. This is WNT9 Radio, and we're here with Chief 9 Owl, man. And man, we definitely got to have him come back in. Until next week, people. Wadu.